Welcome to a meeting of your Planning Commission, the official local planning agency for the cities of Tampa, Temple Terrace, Plant City, and unincorporated Hillsborough County. The Planning Commission provides innovative leadership and long-range vision that contributes to the creation of a thriving, prosperous community that offers opportunity, fairness, and choice in how we live, move, learn, work, and play. For more information about the Planning Commission, please call 813-272-5940. Follow us on social media or visit our website at planhillsborough.org.
Good evening and welcome to the September 10th, 2018 public hearing of the Planning Commission on Plant City Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation are encouraged. If you will, please sign the register at the rear of the room and turn off any devices that may be a distraction. If you wish to address the Commission on any specific amendment, we ask that you please complete the appropriate public comment sign-in sheet at the rear of the room now. When addressing the Commission, please begin with your name and address and speak directly into the microphone. And for those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. Agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation, also with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Commission when recognized by the chair, and public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will be afforded a 3-minute period for a rebuttal or response. Planning commissioners will ask questions. Public comment will be closed, and upon a motion and a second, discussion, a vote will be taken. Could we have roll call, please?
Good evening. Buzzard?
Here.
Dix? Green? Joseph?
Here.
Kress?
Here.
Marino?
Here.
Grower?
Here.
Wilds?
Here.
Dickerson?
Here.
Rodriguez?
Here.
And Chairman Dowdy?
Here.
You have a quorum?
Thank you. Item number 2 on our agenda is PCCPA 18-01, Future Land Use Map Amendment. Mr. Hudson. Your mic. Yeah.
I'll start again. Mark Hudson, Planning Commission staff. The Planning Commission has been processing 2 plan amendments on behalf of the City of Plant City. The first one, as mentioned by the chairman, is PCCPA 1801. This shows you the general location of the plan amendment, which is in northern Plant City on North Frontage Road, just west of North Park Road. This is shown on their vision map. It is located in between an industrial area, industrial park, and a community activity center at the interchange of Park Road and North Frontage Road. This is a little bit closer aerial showing the property that is affected by this plan amendment. It consists of 2 parcels. It has been privately initiated. Being under 10 acres, we are processing it as a small-scale plan amendment. It is about 7.5 acres in total. The current land use on the property is industrial for the southern parcel and residential for the northern parcel. The applicant has requested that to have both parcels have a land use of commercial, and also for the northern parcel to be brought into the I-4 Tech Corridor overlay, similar to what has already occurred on the southern parcel. As far as the impacts, if this was approved by the City Commission, the actual entitlements dealing with residential development would remain relatively unchanged, from 24 dwelling units down to 23 dwelling units. But what would change would be, instead of having 32,000 square feet of industrial uses allowed, it would raise those entitlements to 114,000 square feet of commercial uses, thus transitioning it from more of industrial and residential to a commercial land use plan category. This shows you the future land use map as it stands today. Most of the property around this is either an agricultural use or is vacant. As I mentioned, to the south, it has an industrial land use and is a retention pond owned by DOT. To the west is industrial property. To the east is a commercial property that became before you in 2016 with a similar request, which was granted approval by the City Commission. To the north is a residential subdivision called Mystic Oaks. The actual properties that abut this currently are vacant, but they've been platted for residential development. This shows you how the map would change if approved by the City Commission. The gray and the yellow colors of both the industrial and residential uses would change to commercial, and the hash line represents the I-4 Tech overlay, which allows additional entitlements and different uses based on bringing certain job-creating industries to the City of Plant City. Give you a little idea what the site looks like today. It was a tree farm at one time. The photo on the left is property looking north from North Frontage Road, and the property, the photo on the right is looking south from the Mystic Oaks subdivision. This is North Frontage Road. This is the only area where the properties have access. Staff believes it should have a unified land use since it only has access, the northern parcel only has access through the southern parcel. And these are some pictures of the Mystic Oaks subdivision to the north. I will say by being in the northeast area master plan, when this property goes through the rezoning process, it will be required to have a planned development, and thus will be required to do additional buffering, be installed additional buffering to separate whatever commercial uses are ultimately developed on the property from this residential area. Staff reviewed this by the Imagine 2040 Plant City Comprehensive Plan. The full policies are in your packet. We particularly looked at neighborhood conservation, community development, growth management, public facilities, and economic growth, and staff felt it was consistent with those policies. We talked to the Plant City Utilities Department, and they did indicate to us that water and sewer capacity was available. A cursory transportation analysis indicates that we would not be expected to cause any deficit level of service on any of the adjacent roadways. Though the applicant's desire is not to develop it residentially, but if it was, there is some capacity issues at Plant City High School that would have to be worked through. The other elementary and middle schools have capacity. We did supply this to both city staff and other agencies for review, and to date we have had no objections or comments. And also to date, we have not heard anything from the adjacent property owners. We noticed everyone within 250 feet. After our staff analysis, staff recommends that the Planning Commission find this plan amendment, PC-CPA 1801, that proposes to change the land use designation of the affected parcels from residential for an industrial to commercial and to bring the northern parcel into the I-4 Tech Corridor overlay, consistent with the Imagine 2040 Plant City Comprehensive Plan, and forward this recommendation to the Plant City Commission. And that completes my presentation, Mr. Chairman, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Mark. Does the applicant wish to make a presentation?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Board. Phil Waldron, 2736 Gulf Lake Drive, Plant City, Florida. We concur with the staff report. One comment, we are in the process of initiating the zoning, and we will be doing a PD zoning. We will be looking at additional buffering, and also probably the retention will be on the north side, which get it away, which will provide additional buffering to the north of the project there.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to address the commission on this agenda item? Seeing none, are there any questions from commissioners? Commissioner Dix.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to advise you that I will be abstaining from the vote and also participating in this action because it's come to my attention that the owner of the subject property has retained the services of the law firm of which I'm associated, and they may continue in this situation or they may not. It's obviously very early in the action, but I felt that I should make that known. Thank you.
Thank you. You got him under control, Tracy. Right. Any other comments from commissioners or questions?
And Commissioner Dix will be filing his...
The appropriate paperwork?
The appropriate paperwork, yes.
Right. If there are no other comments or questions, public comment will be closed. I'll entertain a motion.
I'd like to move that we find PC CPA 1801 consistent with Imagine 2440 Plant City Plan and move to Plant City Commission for approval.
I have a motion by Commissioner Buzza and a second by Commissioner Wiles. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Commissioner Dix abstaining.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Green.
I have maybe a quick general question. I need to take a closer look at the I-4 high-tech corridor overlay. But my question has to do with the types of uses that are going to be in close proximity along that. Because Mark showed a slide that we have commercial, industrial, we have residential, we have something else, and they're all right there together. I'm just curious as to how that works or how it could work, whether there's, whether we need to be thinking about transitions and things like that as a result of, and obviously there are going to be a lot more of these amendments along the corridor itself. So just to.
In response, this is an industrial corridor where it is near, I got to get my bearings here, near Alexander, where it's near Wheeler Street, and as it transitions over to Park. So you have an industrial park at that location, and then as it gets closer to Park, it transitions into a commercial corridor. And so there is that interface between the commercial and an industrial at this point right here. We don't feel it'll be particularly any compatibility issues at that location. We are concerned about protecting any potential future residential uses to the north, and that's one reason why we're requiring all the uses in this corridor to have a plan development zoning. And as part of that zoning and talking to the Plant City zoning and hearing manager, that will be particularly sensitive to ensure that interface between those industrial and commercial uses on that corridor are buffered from those residential uses to the north, even if they're in Plant City or in an unincorporated county.
I just raised the issue. I don't know if it's something that you may be taking a closer look at or.
Okay. Great. That brings us to item 3, PCCPA 1802 South Jackson Street.
Catch up the slides. This is the second plan amendment that we're processing for the City of Plant City, PCCPA 1802. As you can see on the vision map, it is located in the central portion of the city and actually close proximity to the Midtown area that is being redeveloped as a major mixed-use activity center. Zooming in, this shows a little bit closer the one parcel that's affected by this. This is a publicly initiated plan amendment. The City of Plant City went through a process late last year of identifying surplus lands where they felt that they could offer those to the public to have them develop and bring those back onto the tax rolls, and that these lands were no longer needed by the municipality. This was one parcel they identified for surplus. However, they felt that it had a land use currently on it that is incompatible with the surrounding neighborhood. It is only a third of an acre. It has an industrial land use, and the City Plant City initiated a plan amendment to change that to residential 12. What would be the implications if this was approved? Currently, it has no options for residential development. It has no options for residential development. Would allow 8,000 square feet industrial uses, really in the middle of a neighborhood called Pinehurst. If this plan amendment was approved by the City Commission, it would change that to potentially 4 dwelling units and would take away those industrial opportunities. I did talk a little bit longer length with the Plant City Planning and Zoning Manager, and based on their zoning code, in actual fact, they believe what would be more likely to be allowed here would be either a single-family home or potentially duplex. Based on other code provisions, they don't believe that actually 4 units could be actually accommodated on this small site. This shows you the land use pattern as it sits currently in their adopted plan. As you can see, to the north, east, and west is the residential 12 land use that is of the Pinehurst neighborhood. And you see the large industrial area to the south. That is Gordon Food Services, the warehouse distribution facility to the south. However, this neighborhood is very well buffered with wetlands and floodplains. So the land that is immediately adjacent to them is vacant, and we expect to remain vacant. This shows you how the land use would change. If the land use change was approved by the City Commission to residential 12, thus matching the land uses to the north, east, and west that have been already established as a residential neighborhood. Just to give you a little idea of the area, the first slide on your left shows South Jackson Street, which is an unpaved facility. The actual land is on the end of this roadway. And the same area shows you Jackson Street looking north to also Brook Street. The main road that would be serving this area would be East Alsobrook Street, and this is showing you the view looking east and west. It is a residential street connecting the Midtown area to Park Road. And also I took a shot of an adjacent home from that Pinehurst neighborhood. Staff reviewed this for compatibility with neighborhood conservation, community development, and growth management. The complete policy is in your packet, and we feel is consistent with all those policies. When speaking with Utilities Department, they say water and sewer services available. We wouldn't expect any transportation impacts from such a small development. All the roads are operating at an acceptable level of service. The school district had no comment. We've supplied this to both city staff and other Hillsborough County, the Hillsborough County staff and also other agencies, and have received no comments. And we've had no citizen comments to date. We did notify everyone within 250 feet. Again, staff recommends that the Planning Commission find PCCPA 1802 that proposed to change the land use designation of this one affected parcel from industrial to residential 12, consistent with the Imagine 2040 Plant City Comprehensive Plan, and to forward this recommendation to the Plant City Commission. And also, I just wanted to give you a general idea of the time frame. We're, of course, presenting these to you this evening, both 1801 and 1802. We'll be also seeking the recommendations of their planning board this Thursday at 8 a.m. at City Hall. And since these are both small scales, the adoption hearing has been set at City Hall at 7:30 in the evening on October 8th. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Mark. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to address the commission with regards to this agenda item? Seeing none. Any questions from commissioners? Comments, questions? Great. Public comment will be closed, and I will entertain a motion.
I'd like to move to find PCCPA 18-02 consistent with the Imagine 2040 Plant City Comprehensive Plan and move forward to the Plant City Commission.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Buzza and a second by Commissioner Green. Is there any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries unanimously by members present. Before we adjourn, should Plant City City Council meet at Hillsborough, oh, yeah, sorry, whoops, Hillsborough County, appoint someone in the very near future. I'm going to put Ms. Wilds on notice. Our member at large is this could be his last meeting. He's leaving and will be being replaced. So if I'm indisposed, you're going to be in charge. I keep trying.
I'll respond to you after.
So yeah, I will. I'll miss you myself.
I want to meet everybody here.
So,
Great crowd.
Learned a lot.
yep, and your timely motions when we need them. Yes. Okay. With that, we'll be adjourned. Thanks.
Man, you love the park. Let's keep going.
We are celebrating the Healthy Living program that's come to the Lee Davis Center. I mean, what we're trying to do is bring healthcare to the East Tampa and Hillsborough County to just make sure people get that early detection of any diseases they may have, or make sure that we can just make sure that blood pressure is good, they don't have diabetes, high blood pressure, no weight. This is needed in this community because a lot of people here don't have access to healthcare. And if we as a county can bring it to them, that's what we've done here.
We met with Dean Peterson. She is the Dean of the School of Public Health. And now we're involving all of our partners like ACTS, DACO, Tampa Family Health Centers, especially Sherry Holbeck. We are also working in other areas like Plant City and Ruskin, where we're doing it with Suncoast, and these are federally qualified health centers. And we are working with our hospitals, such as Moffitt, to make sure that they're a part of it. And then we bring all of these together in one community, and they can just walk across the street to get some of these services.
The College of Public Health allows us to teach individuals about public health. And public health is everything. It's clean air, it's clean water, it's health care, increasing social determinants to decrease health disparities. So it's the whole picture. It's the whole community. And the College of Public Health, we train our students in public health. They are not just trained in the classroom. They're trained in the community.
We have public housing all around, people on fixed incomes all around. Just people don't have access to healthcare. They might be working, but they don't have access to the healthcare because they can't afford it. This opens the door for them to come in and get that free healthcare that's vitally important. And it teaches them how to live, what they could eat, what they shouldn't eat, what they shouldn't drink, those kind of things. So it's here, and it's important to have it here.
You may know about STEM, but do you know about STEAM? It stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, and we're learning about it next on The Borough.
MOSI, the Museum of Science and Industry, is a scientific playground with more than 450 hands-on activities located right here in Hillsborough County. We meet up with President and CEO Julianne McKenzie to learn about MOSI and its innovative future.
So Julian, what are the goals for MOSI?
Well, MOSI's mission is to provide outreach, science education through outreach and other ways, but also to be financially viable. The objective here is to continue serving the community as we have done, but in a financially viable and financially responsible manner during this phase before we move downtown. It is the objective that we should be by 2022 or thereabouts in a location right next to the arena.
But until then, you've got some really cool things here. So what are some of the things that kids of all ages can do?
Well,